Fala pessoal, tem vocês, Iago na área. Hoje estou aqui para gravar um jogo bem suspeito, na verdade. O nome do jogo é The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. Esse aqui é um jogo que veio na PSN mensal desse mês, PSN desse mês. E eu achei um jogo bem confuso, na verdade, né? Achei um jogo bem suspeito. Eu fiquei bem curioso na hora que eu vi. Eu falei, ué, um jogo que pode ter um fim, mas pode não ter um fim. O jogo pode tirar sua escolha, mas pode dar sua escolha. Eu fiquei confuso. Deixa eu ver se eu consigo ler aqui a descrição do jogo. Não, deixa. Foda-se, vamos lá. É estranho. Escolha um idioma para legenda e os textos na tela. Português. Ah tá, já foi. Você já jogou Stanley Parable? Não. Mano, eu tô bem curioso. Ajuste controle deslizante até que o computador quase não veja. Não veja não seja visível, caralho. Quase não seja? Ah, tá bom sim. Deixa eu arrumar minha TV. Vou colocar um pouquinho pra cá. Por causa da luz, só tem que ir, eu quero ver a TV certinho. A hora atual? Nem vi se era da manhã ou da tarde. Puta que pariu. Tá. Eu tô bem curioso pra ver esse jogo, mano. Porque eu não entendi nada. Divisão? Deixa eu deixar no 70 e 5. Acessibilidade? Deixa no 5. Vibração, idioma português. Idioma português? Ah não, isso é legenda, médio. Deixar grande, porque eu tô meio ceguinho. Não, deixa eu colocar a TV grande, então. Capacidade. Não precisa mostrar retículo. Volume, comando, agachar, pausar, interagir, olhar, mover. Tá. Ou o jogo vai ser muito estranho, bom, ou vai ser muito ruim. Vamos ver. Então, esse aqui sou eu. Esse aqui agacha. O que eu faço? Não sei se é de terror. Não fala se é de terror ou não. Podia ter uma mira, né, no meio. Pra saber onde eu tô clicando. Apresentação, mostrar retículo. Ah! Ah, agora sim. Não abre.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Só de reunião. Mas é muito estranho.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace. Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Bom. Nossa, velho. Muito branco. Mano, tô com medo, velho. Não gosto de terror. Ah! Mano, tá muito estranho isso aqui. Não tô gostando, não. Por que tá a porta aberta? 4B6, 425. Caralho, nada abre.
Stanley clicked on literally every single door in the office because he doesn't pick up well on cues from his
Tô
environment.
ocupado. Gente. I hate Mondays. Mano! Nada abre. O L1 e o L2 que... minutinho. Coisa importante pra resolver no meio do vídeo. Puta que pariu. Nossa, vou escrever sim, saiu fiz. Filho da... É meus planos de vida. Agora, não respondeu até agora. Agora que eu tô jogando... Uma sapa também...
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
A música parou. E se eu vou pra direita?
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he
Sabia?
wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Mano, não tô gostando desse jogo. Ai, caralho, que susto, porra! Nossa, eu achei que tinha alguma coisa atrás de mim. Eu dei coisa atrás de mim. Não tem como dar um zoom, não? Nada? Por que eu aperto o X pra interagir e parece barulho de teta, mano? Eu tô trancado, velho. Nossa, a pessoa trabalhar aqui, ó. De costa pra janela. Aff. Ai, arrepiei.
Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Não, foi
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Minha esquerda? Não tinha porta aberta à esquerda. Ah, aqui. Oh, tá meio escura essa sala. E se eu...
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Ué, foi a primeira porta à esquerda, não foi?
But Stanley didn't want to go
The
back
end
to the
is the never
office.
end.
He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, left.
É, só tem esquerda, né?
Oh, no,
Filha da
it's to the right by
puta! Nossa,
mistake.
que susto do cara, vai se fuder, mano.
No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please? Now, let's see. We went down right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
Tô descendo mais? Puta merda!
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley... Wait, what? No, I restarted. I swear, I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere, or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
Let's define story? Mas como assim encontrar a história, velho? What the fuck, velho?
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not? All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Mano, eu não tô entendendo nada.
Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
Você que tava aqui antes? Nossa, que susto, mano. Achei que fosse alguém parado ali, velho. Eu dei esse bagulho, mano. Eu olhei em janela assim, esses negócios. Nada clica nessa porra.
Aha! I knew we'd miss something. The story. Here it comes. No, wait, never mind. Not the story.
Puta merda, mano.
Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps. Now this... Well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely...
Puta, mano, calma aí. Os caras querem me resolver o bagulho agora, velho. Calma aí.
Forgotten what we were supposed to be doing. How about this? You win! Congratulations! I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job. Oh, no. No, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay, I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart.
The end is never end. Oh. The end is never.
All right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable adventure line. Just follow the line. How simple is that? You see? The line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train of thought for a minute. Just stick with me. Now, we can both agree that the nature of existence is in fact a byproduct of one's subjective experience of that existence, right? Okay. Now, if my experience of your existence rests inside of your subjective experience of this office, is this office, in fact, the skeleton of my own relative experiential mental subjective construct? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
What the fuck, mano? Consegui ali.
Wait, cut the music. Go back and look at that fern. Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story.
Sério?
Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything. Wait, what? We're back at the office?
Puta que pariu, sabe nada também esse maluco, velho.
Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell? Oh, no, not again. Line, how could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart. You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
É só vagar, só assim, aleatoriamente. Vamos só andar por
Now,
aí.
yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild. Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it.
Ah, tá, achei que ia ficar andando em círculo aqui.
Oh, no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new
Nossa, que linha
story.
bosta, velho.
No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
Ah, mas não tem outro caminho, né? Tem que seguir a linha de qualquer jeito. Não dá pra fazer nada, velho. Oh. A linha acabou onde? Ah. Eu não gosto de silêncio, mano.
Ah, a choice. We
Ai,
get to
mano.
make a
De
decision.
novo, decisão.
From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere, the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits. Oh, hold up, what's this? The confusion ending.
Caralho,
You're
desliga essa
telling me
manutenção, siga até
That's
chegar
what
a
this
sala de
is?
monitores.
It's all
Narrador.
one giant
Sim,
ending?
sim, jogo.
And we're supposed to
Primeiro
restart the
início,
game
depois
eight
dos cortes agora tem muitos cortes
times?
adicionais.
That's really how all this goes? It's all determined? So now, according to the schedule, I restart again.
Vamos lá.
Then what?
Desvie da sala
Am I
de...
just supposed to forget?
Posso...
Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really... No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped? Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? how would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen? So,
Devido à sala de
okay.
manutenção, siga até chegar à sala de monitores narrador de início.
I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story, wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination, so I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime, if you... All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Puta que pariu, velho.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Por que a música para, mano? Puta que pariu.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Broom closet.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Caralho! Estamos confusos, estou ansioso, tô ficando ansioso já. Tinha um elevador aqui. Não, eu vou entrar na sala.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck.
Que jogo é esse, velho? Meu
Amazing.
Deus!
He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Não quero entrar não, acho. Ah! What the fuck, man? Não, tá muito escuro. Mano, esse jogo tá confuso. Eu não tô entendendo mais nada desse jogo, velho.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Mano, eu dei silêncio, velho. Por que fiquei em silêncio?
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Ah, eu desci! Olha que eu vi! Legal, legal, legal.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Caraca, é sobre esse jogo.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Cara, que jogo confuso, velho.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machine...
Não tem como eu... aumentar o brilho, não? E eu tô vendo nada, velho. Tá tudo escuro.
Machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Que? 5? Cadê o 3? Mano, que porra de jogo é esse, velho? Ah. E o 4? Ué? 1, 2. 1, 2. Três. 5 aquele ali, né? Cadê o 4? Acho que eu tô. Vou embora, não entendi nada. Nossa, velho, onde tá o 4? Calma. 1, 2. 3. Onde que eu subo? Eu tô vendo nada. Ah, tá bloqueado o caminho. Vou embora. Porra, complicado demais isso aqui, velho. Por que isso é apagado esses aqui? Opa. Foda-se. Waiting input.
And when at last he found the source... Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are said to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say, 2 minutes. Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going. What all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated?
Agora eu vou fazer essa porra.
All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them.
2.
I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly.
Porra, errei, velho. Não era aqui.
Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp.
De novo.
I have to say this, though. This version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count, or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment you fade in until the moment I say, happily ever after. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Puta.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of two
Meu
open
saco.
doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting
Vai tomar no
room,
cu.
and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow, yes, this room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
É. Tá porra. Que é grande, hein? Tem como pular não? Não tem como pular esse jogo, não faz nada.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Nossa. Tem que fazer o que aqui?
That's her, Stanley.
Tô tentando entender o que tá acontecendo.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here. This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley. Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his
Não, não tá
existence.
fazendo nada, velho.
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
Não, também. Essa porra também não. Ai, minhas costas.
But in his mind,
Porra.
in his mind he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him. And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly. So he went further. He imagined that he came to two open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold. As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he
Puta, que
called
mudou
it
tudo, velho.
the Stanley Parable. It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time. But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one. And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it. You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself? I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Mano, que merda, velho. Vai se fuder, velho.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Tomar no cu. Não precisa mais nada, vai se fuder, mano. O que tá acontecendo, velho? Isso foi bem essa, foi? Mano, jogo confuso, vai se fuder, mano.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation. But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could its purpose be? In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845. Two, 8, 4, 5.
Quer ver o que ele faz se eu não colocar o código.
Forgot, but it turns out that the panel's emergency override kicked in, and the door just opened all by itself, and Stanley got the hell along with the story. Well, what did he do?
Vai tomar no cu. Ele não falou nada não, mano, que jogo.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. Although this passageway had the word Escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Foda-se.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
É isso aí. Oh!
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Oh.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly. And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Quem é essa mulher, mano? O conjunto das duas portas abertas foi a primeira peça concreta do design de Stanley Parable. Assim que essa sala foi criada, o resto do jogo surgiu como uma extensão dela, como uma exploração da contradição representada por esta sala. O que realmente existe é só isso aqui, ó. O resto é resto. Mano! Onde eu vou primeiro? Na esquerda ou na direita? Vou na esquerda. Acabou o jogo? E o impecável Kevin Writing como narrador. Quem é essa mulher então? Visual do personagem. Mas que visual que eu tenho? Puta que pariu. Anúncios de Ultra Deluxe. Cara, o narrador. Não. De arte para... Stanley Parable vai ter questões infinitas. Como essa porra acaba? Tá, né? Chega. Mano, não é possível que é só isso. Mano! Não é possível que é só isso. Ah, você é pra esquerda agora.
Now then, this elevator for sure would get him right back on track to where he was supposed to be. Then he pushed the number 4.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save those two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Turn off your PlayStation. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let...
What the fuck, mano? É um jogo sem fim essa porra, mano. Se eu morro, eu volto. E fica por isso mesmo. Eu entendi esse jogo, velho. Vou fazer outro vídeo tentando entender. Porque... Não entendi nada desse jogo, mano. Não entendi nada, nada, nada. Essa voz apareceu, essa mulher, a voz feminina apareceu. Tentando me salvar, né? Pra desligar o PlayStation. Caralho. Bom, acho que é isso, né? Vou por aqui esse vídeo, porque também eu tô ficando confuso já. E é isso, mano. Até a próxima. Esse foi a primeira parte de Stanley, tem Stanley Parable. Acho que é Parable que fala, não sei. Enfim. É isso aí. Valeu.